Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. I am your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome a very, very accomplished individual from the world of food, Mr. Maitra. Maitra, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Garg, and it's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you. Maitra is the founder and managing director of A Custom Palate. He's also the founder of the Food App Store, and he's a chef and an entrepreneur. So, Maitra, let's start talking about A Custom Palate. Tell me about this venture.
It's something like when I was working with, and I was in my last 14th or 15th year of my corporate life. I've been working in the corporate sector in five-star hotels for the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And in the 14th or 15th year, you always been through that. You have learned good enough and you want to do something, but then you never get an opportunity because you don't have that amount of money and that support.
Correct.
And the pressure of being with the family and supporting the family stops you also.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point of time, you actually know that your basic income is what you can suffice, but the salary you are drawing, you can start doing something else if you are not misusing it.
Correct.
So that's where I was thinking of opening up a investment firm, and since I am a small investor, like in terms of money, so I thought that let's invest in people. So while working with many people in our corporate life, I will find that there are different people who are good. So we thought that let's invest in them, make them grow as a CEO with the experience you have as as a seasoned corporate person. So that's where it came in my mind that let's create a company where we will have maybe in long term slowly create directors and company directors in a sweat equity format. So if we venture out in an advertisement media, then we will have a person who will work with us for 3 years as an acting CEO and a working partner. And once he or she proves himself or herself, he or she owns a part in the company and then becomes a co-founder also.
Wow.
So that's where the idea of the venture came out in my mind.
Fascinating. So, when I was reading about you, you mentioned that you actually curated a meal for the Prime Minister of India. Help me understand what goes into curating a meal for such a personality.
It was Mr. Narendra Modi's first visit to Bangladesh. I have invented in Bangladesh, and while I was working with a five-star hotel in Bangladesh, I was being approached by the Indian High Commission in Bangladesh that why don't you try to do the meal for us, because we are not getting the right guy for the meal and we are a little skeptical. So now the Foreign Secretary of India was the Indian High Commissioner of Bangladesh, and he told me that do you want to give it a try? And I was like, okay, fine. But then it was most interesting part was that we from our hotel was not allowed to do the catering because there is a government hotel in Bangladesh which is supposed to do the catering. So I told him that okay, fine, I will do the catering, but the whole hotel has to report to us because anything goes wrong, you're going to hang me on the pole.
Okay.
So that was one thing. But then yes, there was a lot of procurement, lot of delegations, lot of commandos we need to handle and all those stuff. But it actually was easy for me because I have worked with Taj Mahal Mumbai, and Taj Mahal Mumbai has been hosting United States presidents and all the presidents of China and everywhere. So we have grown up seeing the protocols. So that was a little easy, but then it was also difficult because anything goes wrong, you are always stuck for your life.
Absolutely. So, moving on, Maitra, I wanted to ask you a question. As a chef and an entrepreneur, from whatever little I know of the food business, most restaurants have a very, very short life.
Right.
Why is this the case? And yet there are some, like in Delhi, the Bukhara and or the Taj Delhi, which has got the Chinese restaurant. I mean, they just carry on for House of Ming for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. What makes a restaurant successful, and what makes a restaurant close down so quickly?
See, there are two things which I feel that in a food business is now you need to go to two different one of this part. You can't go into both the parts. Like I have worked in House of Ming in Taj Mumbai, Taj Mahal, Delhi for 2 years. I worked with Thai Pavilion in Taj Mumbai, Taj President Mumbai, and the Taj Mahal Mumbai. The Golden Dragon is around 45 years old.
Yes, yes.
So, to create a brand, there are two ways to go through. Either one is by product innovation. You keep churning product, the people starts looking that, oh, this is also good, that is also good, and you are always bombarded with it. A typical example in retail is Zara. But then again, if I go by the aspiration model, you create your brand so strong that people aspire to dine with you. And you keep a standard product, but your aspiration model becomes so high that the model becomes a legend, and then people visit the legend. Now, which one to choose? I would say that okay, it's Taj and the Bukharas are a 40 years old hotel. They had that ability to take the blow of putting up money for last 20 years. Nobody knows what was the first 5 years of Taj Mahal, Mumbai's Golden Dragon, or Bukhara of ITC. Everybody talks about 40 years Bukhara. So that 5 years to survive was a huge pain what the owners had to put in.
Correct.
Now, standalone restaurants can't take it like that. There's a very good restaurant in Bangladesh also known as Star Kebab. Now, Star Kebab has 8 restaurants which are like a standalone 3-floor restaurants all over Dhaka, and they've been running for last 27 years.
Wow.
And they serve from breakfast till dinner, and it's a legend. Like when maybe you like people like your age are young, and my age was not in the lab. We used to go there, so that has become a legend, and people still come in. So that kind of legend, if you really can take that blow, go ahead and build that legends which are for life, or you follow that product innovation way, so that there is not a growth fatigue, like the diner's fatigue does not come in. Like I had the same biryani last day. What is next?
Correct.
Like you see, Paradise in Hyderabad is a legend. MTR is a legend.
Correct.
So you can go two ways. MTR is a 110 years old brand. They were bleeding when it was in the 1971 war, but they survived because they were cash rich. So how deep is your pocket and how well you can fight makes you a legend or an aspiration model.
But just continuing, and a short question for you, that when you spoke of Bukhara or the House of Ming, if you look at other restaurants in the same hotel, they have not had the same longevity.
Yes.
So it's the same management, same company, same amount of money, same kind of investments, and yet a Bukhara and House of Ming have endured.
Probably like House of Ming serves the Chinese which Indian likes, and it had been when no one was serving that. Probably Bukhara was serving the dal makhani with the Indian life, which no one was serving in a structured form at that time.
Correct.
So it has also got the first movers advantage, and also it is like supporting that brand, because see, that Lebanese restaurant, I'm sure you're referring to the Lebanese restaurant of that hotel. It did not survive in that hotel is because it's not your daily food. You won't take somebody to eat in the Lebanese restaurant every on and off day.
Correct.
It's where you're going to go into that Indian or a Chinese. That's the
very well said.
Main part to cater to. Like end of the day, we like that dal chawal.
True.
Dal chawal, you should have it. And after that, you fantasize for a shawarma or a burger or a French fries.
Well said. Well said. So, Maitra, whenever I travel anywhere in the world, and I end up wanting to eat what I would call broadly Indian food, even though in the UK there are Bangladeshi restaurants, or in other parts of them Pakistani restaurants or Indian restaurants. The most common meal is butter chicken or chicken tikka masala, is a dal, maybe a kebab and roti. Right. What happens to so many other cuisines that are coming out of Bangladesh, India, and the other parts of the subcontinent?
See, the basic innate food, what we spoke in the last sentence, like the dal chawal, that is one part. Another part is we have made it convenient food. You know that the butter chicken is a boneless chicken or a with bone, possibly boneless in UK and all places. And you just have got one roti, which is sliced like a pizza. You just dip it in a sauce, which is tapped in tomato sauce, which is tomato is a universal food.
Correct.
So it's tapped in a sauce and just in a boneless chicken. People can eat that. So that is what has helped it to survive and has grow up. Now, if you call it as a Turkish kebabs and all, well, it has a very pungent taste. Like Turkish kebabs has a smell of the meat, which not everybody can take. And there are a lot of foreigners who are also Indians. The mass people who travels and who caters in London are Indians. Who moved to London and also in Canada. They have not opened up that because that's not what they would want to eat also.
Okay.
So that has become the predominant invention and the invasion from India and Bangladesh as laborers who became rich and had an opportunity to open up their few things. You will never see a Russian going as a laborer in Oman or in UK or in Canada. In back in 1970s. Probably now, but not that time. But in 1970s and 80s, there was hundreds of UKers who were from India and Bangladesh or Pakistan as laborers. They are now the millionaires of UK.
Correct.
They have that extra money to put in. Where they will put it, they are putting it in the investment which they are sure of. That has helped to make it a spider web where wherever you go, you get stuck in that same dal chawal and thing.
Well
and also again, Indians and non-Indians have accepted it because it is a convenient food also.
Very well said. So, my next question, you might try as a well-known, well-renowned chef, I'd love to get your perspective on the experimentation that is happening with food from the subcontinent. We're always used to 5 or 6 different dishes, with roti and rice, and everyone sits around and share. And now suddenly you're getting small customized units, whether it's the Gaggans or whether the other well-known brands. What is your perspective on how is food from our subcontinent changing?
Mr. Garg, my ideology differs because I come from a very orthodox hotel background, and I have been trained by orthodox chefs.
I would,
and and I have not got probably the opportunity, which might have been a blessing or an or in curse, that I did not met the innovative and the experimental chefs to look into, where we put in some like that the Delhi thing, what it is called, that matako, that white butter is being churned into air and then served with some things. So we have served the white butter in a matka and then served it with some pistachio or some saffron. So we believe that I believe that orthodox food is what is going to stay, and these are all like startup businesses which gets a lot of money and attention, but it doesn't survive. But the house of Tatas and the Reliances survives because they mean every penny sold is every penny needs to be earned. So yes, innovations takes you to next level. Innovation gives you the punch to go ahead, but you first need to know how to make a good roti and a naan and take it out from tandoor. And only then you can make it in a pizza oven and can hang it in a hanger and then serve it to the guests. Those gimmicks are good, but the gimmicks should be based on a strong foundation. That is what I mean, and I believe that.
Fascinating. And again, a follow-up for that question is that for someone who has traveled the world, worked on so many different in hotels and so many different cuisines, what do you think are some of the new international cuisines that are coming up in the world?
The most interesting part I feel is, which is already in, is the Peruvian cuisine, which is
Hmm.
happening very, very
Okay.
thoroughly.
Hmm.
I believe that there is the Turkish food has a very good potential, which with a hint of Greek food
Hmm.
can give a lot of zest in the cuisine, market,
Hmm.
in our cuisine market. And yeah, always I feel that the churros of the Mexico
Hmm.
and the South African barbecue is
Hmm.
which is underrated dish, because
Hmm.
we talk about Turkish kebabs.
Hmm.
The South African barbecues are amazing food, which
Wow.
probably we have not able to take it forward. And yeah, I think it's going to take it a place in different hotels and different places also soon.
Hmm. Very interesting. So I've got one more question before I move to the food app. And my question to you is, I've just returned after a 2-week vacation with my two millennial sons who live in Singapore and America in France. And why people of my generation, and I'm 65, my generation, food was important to carry on with life. In the 15 days that I spent with both my sons, food was very primary, and what was written about the restaurant was very critical. My question to you is, how are millennials and the Gen Zs changing the food business and making you adapt?
It was very interesting learning for me when I was in like the last 2 years back.
Mhm.
Maybe it's around 1 year back,
Mhm.
to be honest. 1 year back, I had an opportunity to consult the Delivery Hero. Delivery Hero is the parent company who has invested in different food delivery aggregator businesses in all
Mhm.
over the world, and in
Mhm.
Bangladesh it is Food Panda.
Mhm.
So it is like it's same like Zomato. The
Correct.
Zomatos are
Mhm.
opening up kitchens. Swiggy has
Mhm.
opened in India, same way Zomato was opening. So I got to see how they operate. Like same
Mhm.
in Devel Foods in India,
Mhm.
how they have different Behrouz biryani and all.
Yeah.
So I saw that how biryani can be made and how wraps can be made so easily, conveniently,
Mhm.
and how important the social media, how Zomato had their own social media platform to tackle them, with the YouTube channel and
Mhm.
all.
Mhm.
And that is same, I got an opportunity to learn during my 1 year consultancy with Food Panda,
Mhm.
where I saw that every food is re-engineered and broken down into bits and pieces of Lego model.
Mhm.
And then when the order comes in, you just plug in all the Lego models and
Okay.
then deliver.
Mhm.
And now, again, as I said, that I come from 2000, where my master chef used to say that beta अंदर से वो gravy ले आओ, that the
Mhm.
gravy was cooked for 2 months or one
Mhm.
month,
Mhm.
and then it's always been used to make all the varieties of curries.
Mhm.
Now that has changed to anybody can cook.
Mhm.
It's now a Maggie model. It's the instant noodle model. When
Mhm.
you open up a packet, you see the instant noodle and the spices. You
Correct.
just need to add water. The
Mhm.
success of instant noodle was that
Mhm.
this new age food industry is modifying themselves into that model,
Mhm.
where you can also probably cook if you do not know how to cook,
Mhm.
and that's is changing. And to be honest, if you do not adapt, you will be left out. I always believe so. So yeah, I have adapted it. I've learned a lot,
Mhm.
and it was my foundation stone to create my own food tech industry.
Fantastic. So, Macho, we'll now move to the next part of our conversation, which is the food app store.
Right.
Uh, Tell me about this venture and what was your motivation to start it?
Right. Pulling the cord from the last question, like
Correct.
when I went in that and I saw that, oh my God, that biryanis can be made so easily and so
Mm.
fastly, and we can expand to 350 outlets in all
Mm.
over India,
Mm.
which we never thought of. When I saw that the burger patties can be, that the chicken burger patty, the patty and the bun can be
Mm.
made and can be shifted to your different satellite kitchens.
Mm.
And this same burger patty can be packed and can be sold in your retail. I saw that this is a different world I have entered. So
Okay.
I learned, but then it was like a 20 years veteran learning that. So I thought that let's not waste any more time and do it for our own self. Now, so coming back to the food store app, like we are creating a food store app with
Mm-hmm.
on a base. I would say the pillars are our expertise in the food industry, which is 20 years expertise.
Mm-hmm.
And there is one, there the pillar is, the next pillar is our marketing, which is our in-house agency. We have an agency.
Mm-hmm.
And also, and the technology we have learned
Mm-hmm.
to create an expandable model.
Mm-hmm.
So we engineer the food thoroughly so that we can create every product in a Maggi concept or an instant noodle concept.
Mm-hmm.
Even the khichdi is packed in rice and the dal and the achar and the salt, and I give it the whole pack to you.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to add water and put it in a rice cooker, and the khichdi is done. You don't have to think that salt is enough or not. We do it that way, and we deliver all over to our satellite kitchens, and then all the satellite kitchens just have to prepare. So you are not based on an experienced chef who will say, "Ha, namak acha hai."
Mm-hmm.
Like the salt is perfect, now it can go. We have taken out that thing. So the our technology model food industry, what we have gone into food store app, works on good food on a technology platform where I don't need an experienced chef on every satellite kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what our food store app works on. We work on 10 brands. We from one satellite kitchen, one kitchen can cater to 10 brands. So it's like you don't want to eat pizza every day, right? You want to eat one day pizza, one day burger, one day khichdi, one day Chinese. So let's cater all, but you do not love one restaurant catering all. So internet-wise, we cater 10 different restaurants, but the kitchen is one. The food is engineered well. So it is like every time you are ordering from 10 different outlets over Zomato, but it is coming from one kitchen. So that's the model of food store app.
Fascinating. And much of my last question to you, you know, I love food from West Bengal or Bangladesh, Bengali food. Yet I don't see enough of it wherever I travel. What needs to be done to popularize food from Bangladesh or West Bengal across the whole world?
Your idea and findings are exactly what I believe that way, because probably maybe we are. I have worked in the West Bengal and in Bangladesh both, and it's the same thing which I see. I believe that West Bengal and Bangladeshi food are on the same line, a little bit different and a little bit needs are different, but we have not taken it ahead forward. Like the Bangladeshis, that people going to London are also serving, as you said, Indian food.
Correct.
Now, yeah. So thing is, we are not confident that we can serve that. We can make people eat that. Now, this is where I have been working last few months. I've opened up partnering with one of the biggest conglomerate in Bangladesh, United Group, that we have opened up 6 outlets of a Bangla restaurant, which is known as Utshab. Now, we using our food tech idea, we have got the khichdi and the biryani format so well conveniently done that during the 6 months people have started knowing us and traveling to us. Our plan is to take it forward to different places because we have named the name very interestingly Utshab. Utshab is basically it's a festival.
Yeah.
Now, it does not say Bangladeshi festival or a Calcutta festival. It
Right.
serves a Bengali food. And wherever you are, you can use that food and can put it up through. So my plans are there. Yes, after conquering Bangladesh, I want to get into Calcutta and I want to put that food because there are a lot of Bangladeshis who have moved from Bangladesh to India. Like my parents are from Bangladesh. So if they would get that dish served in Calcutta, I'm sure they're going to love it. At the same point of time, the millennials will love the Calcutta food. So let's serve that also. So categorically, the name is kept Utshab, and I hope that we can make you feel again next time we meet that yes, I have been working with the Bengali food, and it's been successful.
Amazing, amazing. Maitra, on that note, thank you so much. This has been such a fascinating conversation on food. I wish you lots of success with Utsav. I will track it as and when you come to India. When you do launch, do let me know. I will promote it in my own little way that I can to support you. Thank you for talking to me at such length about what makes a restaurant work, about your app store, and about all the amazing things that you're doing. Thank you again and good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Gaurav. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the Brand Called You.